What's going on, lads and lasses? Welcome back to 100% Marks. So, of course, today's video I'm going to be talking about none other than the recent resignation, of course, of the one and only corrupt bastard that is, of course, Gary Hoffman, the Premier League chairman. And, of course, this comes after, of course, 18 months of him being in charge as the Premier League chairman. And, of course, them were some pretty bad 18 months. I've got to say, in that 18 months, he was found out to do quite a lot of dirty dealings under the table, quite a lot of dirty dealings before even taking the Premier League chairman job as well. In other jobs where he'd been in the past, like Barclays, he was also found out to be one of the main culprits behind Monzo Bank as well, I believe it was. So, he's clearly a very, very dirty man. And, it's about right that he has resigned as well, because this comes just days before the former sports minister Tracy Crouch, who of course was put in charge to try and push through Newcastle's takeover, but of course she didn't end up really helping out that much. But this of course comes just days before herself, the sports minister Tracy Crouch put through a government commissioned review that will hand powers to regulate clubs, owners and directors to a new regulator. So, of course, Gary Hoffman, the dirty bastard, is running for the hills basically, because he does not want to be there when this new regulator comes in, because it will show all of the dirty dealings, what has been going on. And of course, Richard Masters is still there. Will he be another one that maybe ends up leaving as well? We'll have to wait and see. But Gary Hoffman has left the Premier League. He's resigned from the Premier League, or been sacked more than likely, to be honest, is the fall guy for all of what has been going on, and especially, probably is the fall guy for us being allowed to have our takeover. And to be honest, there was absolutely nothing wrong with our takeover. It should have been put through much sooner. If they had a problem with state ownership, then maybe they should look at the likes of Manchester City, because they are owned by a state. Of course, the Abu Dhabi state of Sheikh Mansour. Of course, the likes of Palace, they're owned by a company in Delaware. That could be somebody of high profile as well. That could be a state-owned thing maybe there as well. We don't know. And then there's also the likes of Leicester City with their Thailand owners as well. So if it was about a state, then there's absolutely no grounds on that. But at the end of the day, we've got the takeover. We got what we wanted. We've got Eddie Howe in as our new manager. We've got owners that care for the club finally, and we're finally pushing in the right direction as well. After, of course, Callum Wilson coming out to the Chronicle of all people, and talking to them, which I'll cover that in another video, probably another video that I'll put up on the channel today, which will also talk about the recent comments as well about Steve Agnew coming out of the club, as well as he's now gone with Clements in tow as well. But this video has just been really a talk about Gary Hoffman. And, for me, I would have loved to have just seen Gary Hoffman stay there, because, then when Newcastle won the Premier League down the line, then we could have had Richard Masters and Gary Hoffman, if they had still, of course, been there at the point when we win the Premier League, to hand over the title. That would have been so much sweeter in my eyes, if that had been the case. For them dirty little bastards to have to hand it over, it's that much sweeter, because that really then sticks in their craw, and really pisses them off that they have to hand that title over to us as well, So it would have been great if it had been that way, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it's going to be. But, at the end of the day, they've gotten their comeuppance for what they've done. And, well, at least Gary Hoffman has at the moment. He's resigned or been sacked, more than likely. And I'm sure, Richard Masters will be right there in tow alongside him pretty soon as well once this new regulator comes in. But we needed it, we needed this regulator to come into football because we cannot have people like Gary Hoffman, Richard Masters, even Rick Parry, who was down in the AFL doing his dirty dealings down there. We can't have people like that running football. It's got to be cleaned up for the better, and we've got to push forward because this is a big money maker for our economy. Obviously, football brings in a lot of money to the economy, and to have dirty people like that at the high end of it, skimming off the top is not good. It doesn't portray a good image for this country. It doesn't portray a good image for the sport neither. And, I, for one, am pretty happy, but a little bit disappointed that, he has went, because it would have been, like I say, that much sweeter if he had have still been in the job when we do eventually win a Premier League title, so that he would be there to hand that title over, because that would really piss him off even more, I'm sure, to have to hand over a Premier League title to Newcastle. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. There'll be another video up on the channel, well, 2 other videos up on the channel today. One of them talking about the comments made by Callum Wilson, also the comments made by Steve Agnew in the same video, of course, and then of course there'll be the preview for the game against Brentford. So anyway, till then, I'll see you all next time, and how are the lads?